guys, what's up? This is the Becoming Podcast. Welcome. This is the very first episode. So I'd like to just maybe first of all introduce myself. I'm Rob. I'm 26 and I'd like to just maybe even describe the podcast nearly and what it's going to be and what I'd like it to be. So the reason I chose the name Becoming is because I want this podcast to be, it's basically like a documentation of my journey. And the reason I chose to make it is because I don't use that much social media, to be honest with you. But anytime I go on Facebook or Instagram, I post some photography and some stuff like that on Instagram. It's really, I'm really taken aback by the level of fakeness on it, and I really don't like that. I see all these really superficial and shallow kind of pages, and I wanted to just offer something more real to people, and that's where I think this podcast will be different. So if you're interested, maybe you can go a bit more in depth in that. So what I aim to do is basically no holds barred kind of thing, that I'm at a stage in my life where I kind of know who I want to be finally. I'm nowhere near that person, but this is why I want to document my journey to how I can become that person, hence the name Becoming. So I want to describe, in the coming podcast, I want to describe who I want to be, the person I want to be, like my morals and all that type of stuff, and even why I want to be that person, and maybe to give a better understanding on why I want to become that person. On each podcast, I'm going to give a look into my childhood and that. I had a kind of rough upbringing, so I can talk about stuff like that. I can give positives, negatives, break it down, and give you my perspective now and how I come out better on the opposite side. And I think it's all due to perspective. So I'm going to give you my view, and maybe this can help you as well. Even if you had an okay childhood, I feel like this information can benefit you no matter what you want to do. If you're an entrepreneur or if you just want to better yourself, even if you're in a rough spot, you're going to depression or whatever else, I think I've got something for everyone. I want to talk about my challenges and goals as well. Obviously, to become the person that you want to be, you have to be very, very uncomfortable a lot of the time. And by that, I mean, you have to kind of be uncomfortable. You have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. You have to really go outside your comfort zone, and I'll go into that a lot more. And as I say, this is a journey, so I have to push myself to make this podcast interesting and to stay true to myself. And when I talk about my childhood, I'll give snippets from it and maybe pick out small pieces and break them down, and kind of discuss that one thing, how it affected me, how I changed it, and the positive spin I kind of put in it to help myself. So that's kind of the basic overview. The layout of each podcast, I'm not too sure how I want each one to go. I have a few kind of things in mind. I think each podcast will include maybe a part of my past, a small bit. So I'll talk about a small kind of excerpt or whatever. I'll just kind of describe how it helped me and what I'm doing now to benefit myself to strive forward to reach my goals. And also, I don't want to keep it too serious either. I want this to be kind of funny. I want it to be easy to digest as well. I will give as much information and as much advice as I possibly can, but I don't want it to be all doom and gloom either. I think laughter and comedy and humour is a very important part of no matter how dark and how bad you feel. I think humour, and if you can laugh at something, it really is such a powerful tool. So I would like my personality to try and shine more. And even as I say, this podcast is not going to be perfect. Starting off, I will try my best each episode to get better and better, but I'm trying my very best. And then maybe I might talk about my interests in each episode. So not even just life advice. I'd like to give some. So at the moment I'm trying to write a book as well, and I'm going through the stages of learning how to write and different tools that I'm using. Reddit as well, stuff like that, like different threads on Reddit, and getting just information from everywhere. And I can maybe describe the process of writing a book as well, because I'm doing it firsthand. You'll see me failing. You'll see me. Whatever, I'm not going to hide anything from anybody, and I think that's pretty interesting. I'm into photography as well. I've recently picked up photography, so the same thing again. I can give anybody some tips. I'm still, a beginner myself, but it's an ongoing process, and I'm learning. I'll tell you, what I fucked up, what I did right, what I did wrong, and my resources as well, and I can share them with you if you're interested. And other things I'm interested as well, like video games and MMA, UFC. So I'll just kind of talk about whatever's kind of in my mind at the time, really, to express myself. But the main thing about this podcast is I just want to help as many people as I possibly can. And I've always wanted to do a podcast, but it's only recently when, as I say, I kind of finally have a set idea on the person who I want to become. And I want to be able to, I'm looking for the right words. I want to be able to push myself and to be, as I say, as comfortable being uncomfortable as possible. And this, for me, even doing a podcast, is uncomfortable. It's definitely something new to me. I'm not used to kind of spreading my ideas around. I have a lot of ideas, but I don't usually spread them around. And it's good. It's good that I'm pushing myself. I still feel uncomfortable, and over the coming weeks I'm sure I will just get more comfortable, and please stick around till then if you like the content. So that's about it for the intro. For the first episode, I just recorded a segment on a small segment on Reddit. I went into an Ask Reddit subreddit, which where they post up questions, and I just kind of read through some. I was looking for some funny, maybe some factual. I thought might be an interesting first podcast, because I didn't want to get too heavy in the first episode. In some of the episodes that I will go into, it will get pretty heavy, definitely, because that's the whole aim of it, is to spread awareness about things and being comfortable as possible. So, but the first episode, I just wanted to keep it light and maybe even slowly get across some of my personality. Because I'm still uncomfortable as well, so I thought even kind of interacting with a computer and reading from Reddit, and I thought might be a good kind of funny segment there you can kind of get information from, and it's more comfortable for me sitting down without a script and just thinking while I'm so kind of nearly self-conscious, nearly still, is kind of tough. So I want to ease myself into it, and I'll get better over time, and then you can see. And when I get better, then I can start going deeper into my past and describing things better, and all the rest of it. So it's an ongoing process, and this is the very first podcast of the journey. This will continue to be a lot more episodes, and I hope you guys enjoy the coming segment and the rest of the podcast. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy. I thought it'd be interesting to go on to the Ask Reddit subreddit of Reddit, and look through some of the questions, and I thought we might get some interesting segments, because some are funny and some are kind of serious, but I'm even going to read through the questions. I don't want this to become too edited at all. So some of the questions are kind of silly. I don't know if like all the questions should be in the podcast. Here's one. Boobs are literally just two sacks of fat hanging from your chest. Why are guys driven so crazy by them? I'm going to have a quick look at some of the answers, some of the replies. The top comment, bodies are just a pile of meat, bone and fat. Why are people attracted to them? Well, suppose you can argue with that, can you? Really? I think I think this is the maybe more of like an intellectual answer. Number one, breasts indicate fertility, a psychological driver to procreate. Number two, the taboo of nudity stimulates the mind when bared naked, which is why nudist people in tribes where there is no topless taboo don't go bonkers every time they see breasts. They still find them attractive, but it's not the same naughty psychological stimulation. I suppose so. Shit. I never thought of it like that, but I suppose he's kind of right. Yeah, there you go. And so many other comments are just, jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. Then there's other silly little things like that. I'll look up a different question. What's the difference between an alpha male and a beta male? Okay, let's see what people have to say about this. They're both... Okay, here's the top comment. They're both based off a misconception of wolf pack behaviour, but it was thought that some people were meant to be leaders and others not. Well, yeah, I kind of gathered that, the whole wolf pack, alpha, the kind of leader, the beta is... But saying that the beta is kind of... They're supposed to be followers, but I think in our society, when we kind of call someone a beta, the word cuck usually follows. And I don't mean C-O-O-K. It's C-U-C-K, really. Which kind of means... say like a bitch, basically. That's what kind of... I think in society, when someone's called a beta, that's what they are. They're kind of like a bitch. No balls, that type of thing. So yeah, it's not like alpha and then you have your leaders. Your leader and then your followers. It's more like your leader, and then when we say beta, I think a lot of people go straight to the whole you're a complete bitch type thing. Another top comment. Alpha males tend to crash frequently and lose data. What? I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. I'm gonna skip on from that. Somebody that calls himself alpha male has the following symptoms. Number one, inferiority complex. Number two, will act as an aggressive asshole. Number three, micro penis. Number four, huge car. I suppose you could make the argument there. There you go. I'm just noticing now, I think all of the other answers are kind of like taking the piss. I think that alpha male tend to crash frequently and lose data. It must be something to do with like some sort of feature on a computer or something. I'm not sure. And I tell you, there's something. This answer here is kind of hit on something that I do kind of I do have frequent thoughts about. I'll read out the answer first. The only 100% surefire way to identify a beta male is that they refer to themselves as a, in quote, alpha male. Now, in my opinion, I think that's true. I think anybody who calls himself alpha is not alpha. Simple as. If you consider yourself alpha, if you have to tell someone you're alpha, you're not. That's my opinion. You're not. In my opinion, in Spicy Air Society, I think alphas in like bodybuilding and big kind of bodies, I think stuff like that, big kind of physically imposing bodies go hand in hand. This silly kind of notion of a big person is say alpha, but our society doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? Like the most powerful people in the world are more than likely not, like they're not that big of people. They're normal enough. It's kind of the power they hold and they exert. Say Barack Obama, even Donald Trump, stuff like that. And and Putin say. But kind of going back, I think, so say for example, I pick, say bodybuilding, okay? A lot of these, say bodybuilders, whatever. I'm just going to use these as an example now. And a lot of them refer to themselves as, say, alpha males, I'm alpha, I do whatever. I kind of walk around and I feel big. But a lot of these people have extreme, say, inferiority issues, where they kind of feel less of a person. They kind of feel small, they feel weak, they feel inadequate. So they have to take they have to take steroids, which basically lowers their life expectancy, say, taking these crazy HGH, which enlarges their fucking head, their hands, everything, their bone structure, their stomachs, their organs, enlarges all of this stuff to make them look physically bigger, to keep on avoiding these feelings of inadequacy. So they kind of basically live their lives trying to run away. They basically live their lives based around this fear that they're not good enough, you know what I mean? The fear of being small. I watched a really interesting Louis Theroux documentary a while ago. I'm sure pretty much everyone has heard of Louis Theroux. And there was one on one really interesting one he did on bodybuilding. I think it was a Wacky Weekend one where he wasn't as serious. And he was talking to a bodybuilder called Guy Grundy, I think his name was. He was like a big bodybuilder, and he was obviously on steroids, stuff like that. But there was an interesting segment where Louis and Guy was sitting on a table, and Louis was talking to Guy, and Louis kind of put the question to him. He said, well, how would you feel if, you couldn't be in that body, and you'd say, be in my body? And Louis not, a big kind of strong muscular guy or whatever. And your man Guy was just like, I couldn't function, I couldn't live in that body. And to me, I don't know if I go as far as to call it a mental illness, but I suppose maybe, yeah, like that level of insecurity. And they kind of, I feel now, my opinion, and I'd definitely be open to debate about this. Like my mind is definitely open about this, that I feel like a lot of bodybuilding and say these kind of views on alpha is all about insecurity. It's like, instead of feeling insecure and dealing with that issue head on, and sitting down with it and kind of going, well, why do I feel insecure? I'm working through that. They run so far away from it, and they live their lives around this fear that they're insecure, and they have to go like, oh, I'm alpha, and to prove I'm not insecure, and I'm big and whatever. Like, the way our society is, that's not alpha. Some people are born naturally bigger than other people. That does not make you alpha. To me, alpha is a mindset. You know what I mean? If you tackle things head on, if you're say you're a single parent or whatever, and you're doing the best you can for your kid, or if you're whatever, you had a shitty hand in life, or you could be addicted to drugs or anything like that, and you decide to get off them and be the best person you can be with all of this stuff kind of like behind you, constantly trying to, like, if you've got a choice to go, stay on drugs, just using this as an example, stay on drugs or fucking just go against them and try to be a better person. That to me is alpha, that mindset. If you try and be the best possible person you can be every day, it's very easy in this world to become negative and be an asshole. That's not alpha. That's being a bitch. But to me, if you can wake up each day with the way this world is kind of set out to try and break you down, and you can walk around with a smile, no matter what size your body is, that to me is fucking pretty alpha. That's my opinion on alpha. It's not to do with the body size. If you have that mindset and you're a bigger person as well, I can respect that 100%. But if you just walk around like a dickhead with your arms out because you have this, big fake lat syndrome, that's not alpha. That's being a dickhead. And that's my opinion on that. So went on a bit of a rant there, but I have these feelings for a while because I kind of follow people and they do vlogs and stuff like that, and it really does interest me. These really strong opinions they kind of have of different things, like kind of delving into the world, and you get to see them. And for instance, there's this guy on YouTube. He's actually fascinating. He honestly is fascinating. His name Rich Piana. Maybe you've heard of him. He's like he's kind of like I suppose he's a bodybuilder. He's fucking enormous, and he kind of has like this mindset. But saying that, he's kind of like, sometimes he comes across as like a douchebag, and sometimes he kind of comes across as genuine, because he's the first person to come out and he'll say he's got issues, and it's very rare that these people kind of say that they have issues. Like these big bodybuilders ever say like, oh, I feel insecure, or he kind of does these different say like body transformation series, Bigger by the Day, or was one of them, where he's fucking enormous. He's just say he's like 260 pounds, and he's Bigger by the Day. He posts up his steroid fucking routine, is all his stuff, and some people can follow along. He's kind of just showing it to show how easy it is to put on size if you're willing to do it. Do whatever it takes. That's his catchphrase, whatever it takes. And he'll eat 12 meals a day. His whole body revolves around bodybuilding, putting on. He doesn't compete, but that's what he's known for, just kind of being big. And he does these series, Bigger by the Day, and he does like a daily vlog, and it's his whole mindset of what he does and his body, and it's so scary to me. And I'm just looking at it going, I'm looking at this I'm just so intrigued by his mindset, going, how the fuck, or why is his entire life based around bodybuilding, and putting on muscle? Like, that's literally it. And it's really interesting because recently he tried to do a series called Smaller by the Day, where he's kind of getting older now. I think he's nearly hitting 40, and he's really bad knees and stuff like that. And he knows years of steroids abuse has kind of, taken his toll on his kidneys and his stomach, and like his digestive system, stuff like that. It just does. And he couldn't finish off the series. He got to a certain stage, and he kind of joked about it a few times, going, I'm getting kind of a bit paranoid now because I'm losing weight. I'm coming down to say like a normal size or whatever. Not even a normal size. He's still fucking enormous. But in his head, every time he looked in the mirror, he couldn't handle that shit. He could not handle it. And I'm like, he's fucking enormous. The dude's like 300 pounds or something. He looked in the mirror and was like, no, I'm too small. And I was like, holy fuck, man. Like, it's just, that to me, I'm looking at him going, I kind of feel sorry for him at this stage, because that's nearly like a mental illness that he's probably ended up going to kill himself because he's afraid to face this issue. And I'm really saying to myself, watching this vlog, going, just face these issues, man. Like, I know, fair enough, he's nearly 50 and he's spent his entire life he's been doing it since before 20. I think he was like 16, 17, competing and whatever else. So he's taking steroids, say nearly 30 years or whatever. Like, he's open to this himself, he'll tell you. And I'm kind of saying to myself, just face these problems head on and don't run away from them anymore. You'll be a better person, and you can be you. You don't need to fucking, take all these fucking steroids and kill yourself just because you feel inadequate. Like, that's sad, man. That's really sad to me. It's really fucking sad. But, that's the name of the game. But yeah, that's my opinions on the whole alpha beta thing. It's so if someone calls you a beta, they're just letting you know they're an arsehole, basically. Okay, what else do we have here? People who fell in love with the same sex thinking you were straight. What was it like? Yeah, why not? I'll have a look at this one quick. Okay, question again. People who fell in love with the same sex thinking you were straight, how was it like? People who fell in love with the same sex thinking you were straight. Okay, so just people who kind of just fell in love with it. Yeah, okay, I get you. I'm sorry, I'm a bit fucking slow at the moment. I only dated girls, but I've always found some guys to be attractive. Until one day this fucker started talking to me and he was the cutest and nicest person on the planet, and yeah, he's my boyfriend now. Fair play to you, horse. It changed a lot of things. First of all, understanding what others do not understand about gay couples and how can someone feel love for another man. It just happens. But people seem to forget that love is a feeling and not something you can control. Yeah, I suppose I'd agree with that. Secondly, I learned that girls are not as fun as dating a guy. You can hit him. Okay. well, okay. You're not really supposed to, but okay, whatever. Secondly, I learned that girls are not as fun as dating a guy. You can hit him. He lets you grab him whenever you want. And thirdly, I might say the sex is way better. Okay. What? You can hit him. He'd let you grab him whenever you want. What the fuck? Guy's a fucking sex offender, man. What's going on? How did you use your first condom? There's actually a... No. How did you get your first condom? Nah, fuck that, man. Fuck that. Here we go. Here's a NSFW, which that's what the young kids say, not safe for work. So this is a not safe for work question. What is your darkest, dirtiest Disney fantasy? So we're in for a treat here, lads. Top comment: bondage with Elastigirl. Elastigirl. Who the fuck is Elastigirl? Wait, with Disney? Disney fantasy? Elastigirl? Oh, yeah. She's off. She's the wife, I think, in The Incredibles. I've never seen The Incredibles. Oh no, I need to. I really need to. Might be nice to get a nice long underwater BJ from Ariel. Second comment: those are not as funny as you think. Can confirm. I nearly drowned. Oh my god. Having a threesome with Selena Gomez and Vanessa Hudgens. Too real. Yeah, that is too real. That kind of threesome with Aladdin and the genie, whilst Iago critiques my technique. The lamp isn't going to be the only thing that gets rubbed until something magical comes out. I can tell you that for free. Username PM me nice cock. Fuck's sake. This one is pretty fucked. The quickest I can think is that I wanted to put Rapunzel on all fours and fuck her from behind while I pull her hair and choke her. Okay. I don't know what to think about that one. It's not really funny. It kind of seems like you've been waiting way too long to submit that question or submit that response. I want to slap that goddamn possum in Big Mountain Thunder so bad. His smug little bitch ass face is just out of reach, and he's at the fast party, so you'd probably fuck him up. Probably fuck up your hand doing it. Who the fuck is the possum? I've never seen Big Thunder Mountain. I don't know if that was what the poster was asking for, but it counts. Okay. I'd fuck Goofy. Why? For Tinkerbell to be a little bigger, so she give me a tiny BJ. Oh, nah, she's the right size for you and me. Jerry Bob Joe got fucked. I want to invade and colonize Pocahontas' land. Force them onto reserves and oppress their people for a few 100 years, then act like we did them a favour, like a true Canadian. Jesus wept. Jesus. I'm not a furry, but I always get turned on when Nala pins Simba. I might be a sub. You just might be. I want to get my hair done by Chewbacca. Yeah. Trying to find like another good one. Fuck this thread. I actually thought that'd be funnier. So some of these threads, some of them are interesting, some are just fucking crazy. What would be the best filling for a donut? Like what the fuck's even what? Who's the ugliest celebrity you admire and why? Steve Buscemi. Stallone. The dude wrote Rocky, convinced his skeptical producers to let him play the lead role and launch himself into superstardom. Yeah, man. Fucking Sylvester Stallone's a badass. What are your thoughts on going to brothels to find your future wife? What? That it's really dumb and you shouldn't do it? Yep, kind of a... Feels cringy to me. You're not going to find anything except whores. Literally. And then one of the other top comments is, what? What would you cook for your crush? Nah. Blind men of of Reddit. What do you manage? What do you imagine while fapping? I clicked into this genuinely curious, and then I'm like, how the fuck can you use Reddit? Like, still your mom, obviously. Yes. I've been fortunate enough to feel one set of tits before. I always think of those. Alright, so without running the risk of this going too long, I think I'm going to end it there since it's the first podcast. I want to try a bit of editing now and what you call that, you know, when you're trying to like fix your voice and that. I'm using Audacity. It's a free audio editing software, so I want to give it a go, play around with it for a bit, and hopefully I'll have this up as soon as possible. As I say, it's a learning curve, so I'm literally just looking things up and I'm just learning as I go. So hopefully it turns out well, hopefully you enjoyed it, and the format will change over the coming weeks. This was just I thought it'd be something different, and because it was the first episode, I wanted to try kind of something different, and it might be more entertaining. As I say, I don't want to go straight into my like childhood and be all deep and give advice and stuff like that, and kind of come across as like holier than thou when you guys, I know it sounds a bit weird, like you don't really know me, and I don't want to start preaching. I don't want to be that guy. So I want to do a few more episodes and gently get into things, and then once we get a few episodes deep, I'm going to start getting into really what this podcast is about. So hope you guys stick around if you enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. I'll let you know how the editing process goes as well. I'm looking forward to that. So take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Good luck.